Once upon a time, there was a young man named Amir who lived in a small, quiet town. Amir had always dreamed of traveling the world, meeting people from different cultures, and exploring places he had only seen in books or movies. But there was one thing that always held him back. He didn't speak English. And as we all know, English is the language most people use when they travel. He felt frustrated, knowing that this one thing was standing between him and his dream. But Amir was determined. He made a promise to himself he would learn English no matter how difficult it seemed. He knew he couldn't just jump into it blindly, so he sat down one day with a notebook in hand. You could see the hope in his eyes as he wrote down his goals. I want to speak fluently, understand others, and write confidently, he whispered to himself. But deep down, Amir knew this wasn't going to be easy, and it definitely wouldn't happen overnight. There was a little bit of nervousness, but he told himself he'd take it step by step, so he began. Every morning he would pick 5 new words, write them down, and spend his day trying to use them in conversation, even if it was just to himself. He felt a little silly at first. Imagine him walking around his house saying table, chair, door like some sort of ritual. But as days passed, he started to feel proud. The words began to stick, and he realized this is working. However, things weren't always smooth. Even though his vocabulary was growing, he often felt frustrated when his sentences didn't sound right. One day he sighed and thought, I need to understand grammar, so he got a grammar book and started learning tenses, subject-verb agreement, and prepositions. It was confusing at first. Sometimes his mind would mix up past and present tense, and he would feel a little discouraged. But he kept going. Amir knew that every mistake was a step toward getting better, and he didn't let the setback stop him. One day, Amir's friend, Ali, offered him a little advice. You know, Ali said, it's like how babies learn. They listen first. You should listen to English more. Amir was curious and a bit excited about this new approach. So he started watching English movies with subtitles. At first he felt a bit overwhelmed, relying on the subtitles too much. But as time went by, something amazing happened. He started understanding more and more without needing the subtitles, and each time he caught a phrase, he felt a little rush of excitement. In the evenings, Amir would walk through his town with his headphones on, listening to English podcasts. At first, he didn't catch everything. There were moments of frustration, but little by little, his listening skills improved. He felt a sense of progress that kept him going, even on days when he felt like giving up. But speaking, that was the toughest part for Amir. He was nervous, terrified that people would laugh at him for his mistakes. His heart would race just thinking about talking to someone in English. But one day he found an online group of people who were also learning. They met once a week to practice speaking. During his first meeting, Amir was so shy he barely spoke a few sentences. But as the weeks went on, something changed. He realized that everyone was learning. Everyone made mistakes, and nobody was judging him. This boosted his confidence. He started speaking more, and even began talking to himself in English when he was alone. It felt freeing, like he was breaking down a barrier inside his mind. Amir knew that if he wanted to get better, he had to read more. So he started with simple children's books and articles. Whenever he didn't understand a word, he'd look it up and add it to his vocabulary list. The process was slow, but soon he moved on to more difficult books, and eventually he found himself reading English newspapers online. One day he realized he had read an entire news article without needing to translate anything. He couldn't believe it. Reading had not only improved his vocabulary but also helped him understand how sentences were built, how ideas flowed. He felt proud of how far he had come. Now that Amir had made so much progress in listening, reading, and speaking, he knew it was time to practice writing. At first, it was intimidating. He would write simple sentences about his day, but over time his writing became more detailed. He poured his heart out, writing about his dreams, his experiences, and even his thoughts. Whenever he made mistakes, he would either ask his teacher or use online tools like Grammarly. And slowly but surely, his writing improved. One day, he wrote a letter to his friend in another country completely in English. And when his friend replied, saying he understood everything, Amir's heart swelled with pride. After months of hard work, Amir finally realized something amazing. He could now speak, read, write, and understand English with confidence and ease. His dream of traveling the world was closer than ever, and his heart filled with excitement as he thought about all the new places he could explore, knowing he could communicate easily. Of course, Amir still made mistakes sometimes, but now he didn't fear them. He knew that mistakes were part of the journey, and every new challenge was just another chance to learn something. He embraced it all, the struggles, the victories, the little moments of progress. And so, Amir continued his journey with hope and excitement, eager for all the conversations, books, and experiences that lay ahead. His story wasn't just about learning a language, it was about growth, determination, and the realization that when you believe in yourself, anything is possible.